What's up guys, it's me Deshaun. Today we're going to be talking about a manga that I love a lot. This manga was created by a guy who I originally had as my second favorite mangaka of all time. Go Nagai. The amount of things he's done for the industry and the amount of mangas he's actually made as a mangaka, I would say he's easily unmatched. Anything made by Go Nagai is the definition of badass. When I think of anything that's crossing the line, anything that's pushing a narrative that will make you think, Go Nagai, when it comes to his mangas, he will always cross the line one way or another through his narrative or through the depictions in his artwork. And I love how he can always maintain these cartoony exaggerations and still write a story that I can take seriously. Devilman is a well-known manga, but I feel like it's not as well appreciated as it should be. People like to say that this manga is dated, but I for one will always disagree with that. Because this story is, and to this day, I still believe that it is ahead of its time. From the unmatched creativity of global warming, unthawing Antarctica, and thawing out demons that used to exist during prehistoric times, to a brand new take of Japanese superheroes taking elements from the genre of tokusatsu and pushing it in ways we've never seen before. If there's one thing that I could say about this manga and about Go Nagai himself, is that no one crosses the line like he does. And it's only natural for this story to end out the way it does, as a tragedy and as a story that will ultimately make you think about yourself. Or better yet, should I say, helps us think about ourselves as a human race. What is the difference between a man and a demon? Or I guess you could say a devil. What makes something a devil? Is it the way they look, the way they talk, the way they may move? Or is it simply because you just believe that something is one? But truly, who are you to define what is and isn't a devil? As seen throughout the story, there are plenty of devil men that are not violent. People who are supposedly devils, but they still retain their human hearts. Surely these people look like demons, but they are not. But when we look at the humans who actually torture these same people, these same quote-unquote demons, these same torturers filled with fear are without a doubt the real demons, because fear will ultimately drive people to do crazy things. One of the most compelling and one of my favorite moments in this manga is when one of the students begins to talk about overpopulation. He goes on to say, with the progression of overpopulation, there won't be enough food for everybody, and most people will die from starvation. And back then, with starvation came war. You have to fight to eat. And this same cycle would most likely repeat. But rather than the war serving as a population control, it would mean the end of mankind. He then goes on to say that it would be better to be an animal, because animals don't have all-out wars like humans, even though they may have predators. Bugs are eaten by frogs, which are then eaten by snakes, which are then thrown into a continuous food chain. But ultimately, humans defy this natural law. Why don't they have enemies that eat them? The funny thing is, humans don't have anything that eat them, but they actually do, because the humans ultimately eat each other. Because humans are the real demons. Humans define whatever is stronger than them as demons. We see this with the Devilman and the actual demons in the story. And this actually says a lot about human strength and the weakness of mankind. There are those who possess the bodies of demons but the heart of humans. They possess this bizarre strength, this bizarre power that they've never asked for. And due to this strength, they are labeled as demons and hunted by humans. Because of their strength, they are labeled as demons, and humans will ultimately fear them. And that is the weakness of mankind. And this same fear will drive us to a point in which we'd actually be a demon. Not everything is black and white in this manga, because it's all actually gray. And that is the best part about its writing. Ultimately, the weakness inside of our minds and inside of our hearts will make us demons. That is our human weakness. And this same weakness will make sure that as humankind, we will destroy ourselves, developing a world into a planet where only the strong will survive. And when the world turns into that, you will no longer be able to protect anyone. Anything that you loved or cared about that's too weak to fight for themselves will be eradicated and torn away from you. Or you might just end up fighting that same thing that you once loved. And we see this with Satan and Devilman. The demons in this story have human-esque qualities. despite being the same things that we once defined as devils. We see the same thing play out with Cyrene and Cain. They were more human than any other demon we've seen in the story. Or at least that's what you would think initially, because just like the humans, the demons have something they want to protect as well. The earth, their home. There's a lot to take in with those differences of perspective. And I could go all day with this, but I'd rather not spoil the manga at this point. But by all means, this manga is not perfect. When it comes to Devilman, I can't exactly say that this is a manga for everyone. There are action moments in this manga and they're amazing, but there isn't as much as you would initially think there'd be. I would say the main selling point for Devilman would be the creativity behind it and the narrative aspect that this series has. But I definitely can picture that if you don't really look for these aspects in a story, you'd probably not like this series as much as the next guy, or probably as much as I do. It just really takes a certain type of reader to actually get some real entertainment value out of this. But it's not the longest manga, so it's hard to not recommend it because you could walk away from this story with a love for Devilman. If you don't think it's too much to read 5 volumes, I'd say go ahead and do it. You know, I don't see why nobody could do that. I think it's kind of simple. Just try out Devilman. You might like it, you might not. If you don't, it's understandable. Because again, it's not for everyone. But I will warn you right now, don't have your expectations too high. Because when people initially think about Devilman, or at least I did as well, I thought there was going to be a lot more fighting when it came to this manga because I watched the anime first. But that is simply not the case. If you want my recommendation, I say read this manga and watch the OVAs. Me personally, I don't really like Devilman Crybaby because I don't think it matches up to the manga. But that's just me. Some people like Crybaby. I'm just not one of those people. You know, I have a bunch of weird opinions, so take that as you will. And I will tell you right now, this manga to this day is still timeless. It is a masterpiece. It's not perfect, but without a doubt, this is still a masterpiece. From how stylistic it is, from how creative it is, for how consistent the art is. The story, the plot twists, and the overall originality is a benchmark for what a good manga is, at least to me. Now, if I had to give this manga a score, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. In a weird way, everything just kind of worked with this story, and seeing Akira develop was very entertaining. You'd question how just in a short amount of time, how could any of these scenes have any real weight because there's not enough time for me to get attached to these characters and so on and so forth, but regardless, this manga still gives you those feelings. Nothing really feels underdeveloped. This manga sets out to do its job and it does its job pretty well. Now with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next manga review. Hope you have a good one, and I'm out. But before I go, if you guys show this video enough support, I will gladly review the other series of Devilman. Now, if you guys will be interested in that, let me know in the comment section below. And now I'm actually gone.